In today's session, we will be starting a new topic, that is ratio and proportion. So in our today's topic, we will look at ratio. What do you mean by ratio? Let us say if I have to find ratio of two numbers, then what exactly do we do? Let us say I have two numbers, 15 and 16, and I am asked to find out the ratio of the first number to the second number. So what it happens is you just have to divide the first number with the second number, right? So this is the ratio. And in case both these numbers are present in a particular table or can be divided by any number, we should reduce it or cancel the common multiple and get it in a reduced form. Like here if I say 15 comes in the numerator, 16 comes in the denominator, right? So the number which is written in the numerator is called the predecessor. And the one which is written in the denominator is called the successor. So any number, two numbers given, and if you have to find out the ratio of the numbers, you just divide them. That is 15 upon 16. So this is what I have got the ratio. Now you can see 15 and 16 do not have any common multiple which can be cancelled and reduced. So this becomes my final ratio. Now it is written either like this or it can be written as 15:16. Right? Let's take another example. Let us say 15:60. These are the two numbers and I have to find the ratio of the first number to the second number. So 15 is my predecessor, 60 is the successor. 15 upon 60. Now everyone knows that 60 comes in the table of 15. So 1 upon 4. So now this becomes my ratio in the reduced form. Right? This is called the reduced form. What is a reduced form? Is that when you write the numbers in the form numerator upon denominator, that is A upon B form, and if you can cancel any common multiple. So what was the common multiple here? The common multiple was 15. You can see this comes in the table of 15. 1 into 15 is 15. 4 into 15 is 60. So you can see 15 was the common multiple which I removed, which I cancelled, and the numbers that remains 1 upon 4 becomes the reduced form of the ratio. So 15 was the common multiple that was removed. Okay. Let's take another example. Let us say 12 and 42. These are the two numbers and I have to find the ratio of the first number to the second. So we write it 12 upon 42. And now we try to see whether we can cancel. Let's say both are even numbers. 2 6 are 12. 2 21s are 42. Again with the table of 3. 3 2s are 6. 3 7s are 27. Now we can't cancel this further. So 2 upon 7 becomes the reduced form of the ratio. So what were the common multiples that we removed? We removed 1 2 and 1 3. So 2 3s are 6. 6 was the common multiple. You can see 2 into 6 is 12 and 7 into 6 is 42. We are getting the original number. So 6 was the common multiple which was removed both from the numerator as well as the denominator to get the reduced form. Right? So this is how we write the ratio and we get the reduced form. Right? Next property of ratio is that if you multiply the ratio with the same number in the numerator and in the denominator, the value of the ratio doesn't change. Let us say I have a ratio 1:2. And if I multiply this by 2 on both the sides, it will become 2 upon 4. So 1 upon 2 is equal to 2 upon 4. You can see when I will reduce this, again I will get 1 upon 2. So if you will multiply the numerator and the denominator with the same number, the value of the ratio is not changing. Similarly, even 1 into 2, if I multiply by 3 up and down, I am getting 3 upon 6. So you can see 1 upon 2 will be equal to 2 upon 4 will be equal to 3 upon 6. Here also you see if you will cancel, again you will get 1 upon 2. So by multiplying by the same number up and down, we are just getting a different number, but the value of the ratio remains the same. You can see all these three ratios have the same value, which is 1 upon 2. So the value doesn't change when you multiply the numerator and the denominator with the same number. So this is the second property of the ratio. The first one was the reduced form, that is you remove any common multiple if possible to get the reduced form of the ratio. But you should take care that the common multiple is present both in the numerator as well as in the denominator. Second property was that if a ratio is multiplied by the same number up and down, it doesn't change the value, right? The value will remain the same. Same thing if I will multiply this by 4 up and down, it will become 4 upon 8. So you can see 4 upon 8 also, if I will try to reduce it, again I will get 1 upon 2. So the value of the ratio is not changing even if I keep multiplying by different numbers, but both in the numerator as well as in the denominator. Next is that to find a ratio between two different numbers, the unit should be same. You cannot have different units and then find the ratio. Let's take an example. Let us say I have 12 minutes and 6 hours. These are the two numbers and I have to find the ratio. So you can see the first number is in minutes, second number is in hours. So we can't find the ratio of these two unless and until we make the units same. So it's always easier to make the bigger unit hours to convert into minutes. So 6 hours is nothing but 6 into 60, which is 360 minutes. Why did I multiply by 60? Because each hour has 60 minutes. So now our second term, 6 hours, has converted into minutes. That is 360 minutes. First one is 12 minutes, second one is 360 minutes. So our units have become same. Now we can find the ratio. So 12 minutes divided by 360 minutes. We can cut this with the table of 12. 12 ones are 12. 12 3s are 36. So we get, and now you can see when we are finding out the ratio, even the units get cancelled and what we get as the answer is just a number. The ratio is only a number. A ratio never has any units because the units also get cancelled up and down. So this ratio that we get is just numbers. 1:30. It will not be 1:30 minutes, okay? We cannot write units to a ratio. Ratio is just a number. It has no units. And how do you find ratios? By taking care that the units is same. You cannot have two different units and then find the ratio. Let's take another example. Let us say we have 8 kilometers and 6,000 meters. Now I have to find the ratio of the first number to the second number. Again you can see the unit here is kilometers and here it is meters. So what we do is we convert the bigger unit into a smaller unit. So 8 kilometers is nothing but 8 kilometers is nothing but 8 into 1000 meters. So we get is 8,000 meters. So my first number has got converted into 8,000 meters. Second is 6,000 meters. Now I can find the ratio. 8,000 meters divided by 6,000 meters. So the meters will get cancelled. I can cancel all the zeros. Now with the table of 2, 2 4s are 8, 2 3s are 6. So the number or the ratio that I get is 4 upon 3 or 4:3. So this is the ratio. We will not write any units for the ratio because ratio has no units, right? Next, let's take one more example. 13 rupees and 6 rupees 50 paise. Now if I have to find the ratio, first I have to see whether the units are same. This is rupees and this is a mixture of rupees and paise. So what we do is we convert everything into paise. 13 rupees is nothing but 13 into 100 paise because 1 rupee is 100 paise. So I get 1300 paise. Now same thing I'll convert here also. 6 rupees 50 paise. Now to convert rupees, I multiply by 100 and to it I will add 50 paise. So I get 600 plus 50, that is 650 paise. So you can see both my numbers have got converted into paise. 13 rupees has become 1300 paise. 6 rupees 50 paise has become 650 paise. Now we can find the ratio. So 1300 paise divided by 650 paise. So we get this cancel. We can cancel 1 0. Now we can cancel with the table of 13. 13 ones are 13 and 1 0. 13 5s are 65. Again 1 and 2. So the ratio that I get is 2:1. Again the ratio will have no units. So this is how we convert the bigger unit into a smaller unit so that both the numbers have the same units, and then we can write it in the ratio form and reduce it. Now, how do we convert a ratio into a percentage? Let us say a ratio is given 7:20. How do you convert? What is the meaning of this is that it is 7 out of 20. And to convert into percentage, we just multiply it by 100. So 20 and 5. So this becomes 35%. Right? So what do you do for percentage is just multiply by 100. Let us say I have another ratio 4/25 and I want to convert this into the percentage. Right? So 4/25, when I multiply by percentage or convert into percentages, I just multiply by 100. So 25 fours are 100. So the answer is 4 fours are 16%. This is how a ratio can be converted into percentage. Okay, so let's revise very quickly what we have found out, that if two numbers are given, we can find out their ratio, that is 15:16, where 15 is the predecessor, 16 is the successor, or the number which you write in the numerator is called the predecessor and the number that we write in the denominator is called the successor. If possible, we should try to cancel or remove anything which is common, and what we get is the answer in a reduced form. Second property that we learned was that if you multiply the ratio by the same numbers up and down, then the value of the ratio doesn't change. You can see I multiplied by 2, I multiplied by 3, I multiplied by 4. So every time you will multiply, all these ratios will be equal in value. Next, we saw how to find or how to change the bigger unit into a smaller unit so that all the numbers are in the same unit, and then we can easily find the ratio. We should not find the ratio if the units are different. We cannot find ratio for two numbers having different units. So that was the second topic that we did today. And then how to convert into percentage. When a ratio is given, you just have to multiply. Like if 7/20 is given, you just multiply by 100, cancel whatever is possible, and the remaining answer that you get is the percentage. Thank you.